here to indict the whole entire judiciary, but I think that the judiciary system is very disappointing, and we are gradually losing hope, because it's sad that a man who is supposed to represent the interests of the police was charged to court for embezzling 23 point something billion. And the man pleaded guilty in court that I am guilty, I embezzled the money. Unfortunately, the judge in his own wisdom said, okay, you embezzled 23 billion, we are going to seize your house of 350 million, and we're going to fine you 250 million. I think that was a joke. He let this man walk away with about 22 point something billion of the police money. And the police are suffering, and the police are transferring their aggression to the citizen. You wonder why, when police retire, they don't last 2 years before they die, because they have no, pension plan, they have no savings, they have nothing. And when they retire, they go to their village. In the next 1 or 2 years, they have a stroke and they will die. So the judges are not helping us. It happens in my state when Lucky Gbenedion pleaded guilty, with all that he took, and he was fined about 500 million, and 3 houses were seized. And not just him, Cicera Ibo, the one of Oshene Bank, she spent most of her time in the hospital bed because of these corrupt judges. Listen, I have lived in Canada for over 3 decades. I have lived in America. I see how justice is done in those areas. If you still come up patrimony in China, they recognize you or sees you as a special species, not a human being, but animal in human skin. They will execute you, or they will grant you to show as a deterrent. But the judges we have here, because some of them are very spiritually poor, they are very strong when it comes to the weak, and they are very powerful, and they are very weak when it comes to the strong people. And that's why we're having this conflicted problem. What is banditry? What is causing kidnapping, armed robbery? It's because the government have not been able to provide enabling environment for a citizen, provide a good job for the citizen. And that's what we're dealing with. And the judges are not making it better. If anybody steals from the government, they should be used as a deterrent. As we speak today, a military senior officer has been accused of bribe of 170 million, so he can look the other way, so they can lift oil. And that's the only thing we live for. So I think that if the government of Tinubu, I'm not saying it's the cause of all the problem we've been having, if it meet change, there should be a stiff penalty for offense, so that whether you are judge, whether you are police, whether you are a military man, whether you are a civil servant, whether you are just ordinary citizen, we should try and impose a very stiff penalty for people who are subverting the will of the people.
Do you think it's possible for the President Bola Tinubu to change the situation when our constitution do not really empower the judges to do the needful?
Well, even if that might be, you can see that in 6 months of Tinubu administration, you can see the level of corruption, where you have a man like Tuju. Tuju is the Minister of Interior. He has a company with his wife, and a palletti we're going to be giving to us that is poor of 20,000. But Tuju and his wife, in their own wisdom, they paid a consultation of 400 million to them to give us a palliative of 20,000. That's a joke. In Tinubu administration, what do you call him again? Sowolu of Lagos State. Sowolu of Lagos State went to Granada with a woman who had not even paid her taxes to rent an apartment for 230 million naira a day. If you convert yesterday, I spent about 1.4 million for that. I know it could have been her money, but who is this woman? Where does she get her money? What can happen? It's just too many to mention. Yesterday I was driving in Lagos here. I saw some SUV boys chasing cars, using screwdriver to take away plate number. I mean, in a decent society, you don't do that. Where? It's playing out because SC Olumo were part of the people that ring the election for for Tinubu, so they can do anything they want to do and get away with murder if possible. So we have to be realistic in whatever we are doing in this country because of our yet unborn generation. What country are we going to live for our children if things continue like this? We can make it work if we have that man who's going to be tough of nepotism, favoritism, corruption. It will work. But Tinubu's promise us is going to continue from where Buhari stopped. Don't forget about that. That Buhari was the worst president we ever have in this country. Because he told us, if corruption doesn't kill us, if we don't kill corruption, corruption will kill us. And corruption is gradually killing us. Today, a dollar is trading for 1,600 naira. All right? And people are still making 30,000 naira. So how do you stop the banditry? How do you stop the kidnapping where some people are just stealing the common patrimony that belongs to all of us all? So Nigerians should be prepared. The worst might be yet to come if we don't curb this corruption. And it will start from the judiciary, it will start from the legislatures, and it starts from the executive power, because we have 3 types of government. None of them seems to be working. You give a verdict in Abuja that doesn't have business with Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt will also give its own verdict, because judiciary become cash and carry. So in a situation where you have judiciary to become cash and carry, then we are in, as Donald Trump has probably said, that Africans are a shithole, especially Nigeria. So we become a shithole country.
You just said that the judiciary has become a cash carried system. So how do we sanitize that system in Nigeria?
Well, you see, let me tell you something. It has to be mind over matters. It has to be cash 22. Because when I was growing up, the judges I know were content because they were paying them an adequate salary. It wasn't much. They were giving them cars, they were giving them houses to stay, and they were having no need to get corrupt. But today, the judiciary is not independent. But you seem to look at it, it's independent, because most of them are depending on the executive, on the presidency, on the governors. So it's whatever they say to them become binding in law of courts. It's not whatever they think or whatever the law said. Because before now, the judges used to cite in what they call precedents. That's what they use. Okay? And when they cite the precedent, you hear the word again. They said the prima facie is there. And prima facie is what they call fact in Latin word. But today, they use what they call technicality instead of prima facie. So if they come back to that old age and treat the judges well, maybe majority of them will not be corrupt as they are corrupt today. Look at what Alasha Abu said today on TV, accusing a Appeal Court or Supreme Court, I'm not very sure, of corruption, that even the children run after people who have cases in tribunal to collect money. Even herself go to parties with them. Before now, you hardly will see a judge in the midst of politicians. You can't, because it will not be fair to be seen with them. But today, they go out there, they invite them for marriages, they invite them for parties, they invite them for obituaries, they celebrate with the politicians. And that is preposterous. And that's not looking good way of us. That's what I'm saying, okay? And thank you for your time.